Hello, travelers and monster catchers abound. Hello, travelers and monster catchers abound. I'm Stelliferous, and this is the Monster Catchers Journal podcast. You've crash landed. Let's see what today's episode has in store. So, we're now on entry 24. My hands are still trembling from the heat, not from the fear, but from what I saw. I thought the sun couldn't hurt me more than it already has. But then I met him, a glyph called Daybreak. Unlike the twin suns in the Nibiran sky, he was just one sun. So, we were standing there in our sanctuary, and it was morning time. Zena walked up and said, "Glass plate waste again. That place gives me a heat rash just thinking about it." Luna replied, "But the readings don't lie, Stell. Something is out there, something powerful." I didn't know what we'd find. Just a pulse, a surge of glyphic radiation from the edge of the desert. But the signal was sharp, personal, like it wanted to find us, or us to find it. We were now in the wind-scarred desert of molten glass. Do you feel that? The heat's not just temperature, it's pressure. Emotional, like someone's angry, I said. Or grieving, Luna replied. Suddenly light bends, the horizon ripples. Hovering above a platform of glass is a glowing sun-like figure, spinning slowly, smiling wide. "What in the vel is that?" Zena asked. "That is Daybreak," I replied. Daybreak's voice, deep, echoing, controlled. Witness me, or burn blind in silence," Daybreak said. He looked like a sun wearing a grin, 3 blazing horns carved out of each side, from his side, each a channel for raw lava, and he watched me like he knew me. Lava hissed, heat waves rumbled, echoes of a child crying. "She screamed for me, and I did nothing," Daybreak said, in my mind. "Ignazura, shield formation now," Zena shouted. "He's not attacking us. He's attacking himself," Luna said. "I need to reach him. But first, we survive," I said. Daybreak releases a blast from all 3 lava horns. The desert explodes into chaos. I throw a light prism to bend the heat wave, just enough to dodge. "Okay, Daybreak. Let's talk in a language you understand," I said. "Mom, please don't fight again," I cried. That memory, buried so deep, it clawed its way out the moment I looked at him. He wasn't just light and lava, he was guilt. Guilt made real. "Luna, mist barrier. Now, Zena, when he flares, reflect him. I'll do the rest," I said. Magic mist rolls in, lava crackles, Daybreak charges a final solar lance. I should have stopped it. She called for me. "She called for me," Daybreak cried. "You're not alone anymore," I said. She tosses a sun-still sigil, trapped mid-flare. Time seems to freeze. Daybreak's form fractures into prismatic lights. And then it pulses, and then silence. A gentle hum resumes. Why does it always feel like catching one of them breaks us too? Because we see ourselves in them, Luna replied to Zena. Daybreak sleeps now, trapped in the sigil, warm like a heartbeat. I don't think he's evil. I think he's wounded. And sometimes the brightest flames come from the deepest regret. I had finally made it home. and was reading my journal. But I closed the journal because my mind wouldn't shut off. Daybreak wasn't just some fireball with legs. He remembered something, or someone, and that quote, it stuck with me like soot in my lungs. I burned her worse than he did. Who was she? I wanted some time in the containment chamber, so I went to the lower part of my sanctuary. I didn't know that Zena had made her way down there. As I was watching my new glyph. You're still down here? Zena asked. Yeah, he's glowing differently now, quieter. Ignazura's claws are still scorched from blocking that last blast. But he said Daybreak hesitated. That's rare for a glyph that mad. Zena said. He wasn't mad, he was grieving, I replied. Grieving? That thing nearly flash-fried Luna's eyebrows, Zena said. They'll grow back. There was a muffled voice of a young girl in a flashback that came to me. Don't let him hurt her, please. When I touched the sigil, I felt not heat, not fire, just fear, trapped in memory, replaying over and over. You think Daybreak remembers the life that birthed him? Luna asked. I think he was that memory, I replied. So you think a glyph can be, what, a soul fragment? Zena asked. Or Luna asked now, because she was down there too. Maybe not a soul, but a feeling so strong, so painful it clings to the veil until it becomes something. That's horrifying and kind of beautiful, Luna replied. Suit up. Something's wrong, Zena said. Wrong? How? I asked. Ignazura sniffed fire where there's no fire, and 3 of the lesser glyphids in the vault are acting like they've seen a ghost, Zena said. One of the outer stones is cracked. Something responded to Daybreak's capture, Luna said. What do you mean, responded? I asked. This was tucked under my door, Luna said, holding up a charred piece of paper. If you've claimed the morning sun, then beware the falling dust. He remembers too. R. We were now in the vault, deep lockdown area. I started talking. We thought capturing Daybreak ended that chapter, but glyphs don't just disappear, they echo. They ripple, and something out there, someone, wants us to know Daybreak wasn't alone. R, huh? Anyone we know? Zena asked. I do, I said, stone-faced. We caught a sun, but in doing so we cast a shadow, and shadows always come back a second time. I hadn't heard that initial since the old days, back when I trained in the Marshlight Sanctum. Before the war, before the glyph line shattered. R. Revenant. A rogue catcher who didn't just bond with glyphs. He rewrote them, turned them into something twisted, artificial. You mean Revenant's still alive? Zena asked, stepping closer, eyes narrowing. He was never really dead, just off the grid. But he left this mark, every artificial glyph we've ever seen. Fragmented eyes, unstable energy, signatures. That's him, and now this, I said. A deep metallic vibration hums through the vault. Chittering legs, clicking on the metal floors could be heard. Danger! Elevated solar residue, echo trails, pulsing. Sun resonance in the walls. That's Daybreak's signature, but it's reversed. like something is siphoning it, Zena said, flicking open her scanner. He's trying to clone Daybreak, or worse, mass-produce him. They're very rare and they're not supposed to be done that way, I said. We were now in the sub-level D thermal vault breach. We followed the energy trail through collapsing corridors and down beneath even the vault's foundation there. In the dark, solar glyphs scuttled like beetles through cracks in the rock, mouths glowing with magma. They weren't hostile, they were drawn to something. In the distance, a cage of glass and lava shimmered, and inside it, the second sun rose. There's another one, Zena whispered. No, it's not Daybreak, it's a prototype. Crescendo of cracking glass and warning beeps could be heard all around us as the lights flickered on and off, letting us know that our sanctuary had been breached. There was an unstable, roaring voice that said, "Sunrise Protocol Phase." We're not letting that thing leave this place. We trap it, we contain it, and then, I said to Zena, we find Revenant and end this for good, Zena said. But just as we prepared for the strike, a voice echoed through every chamber, ancient and mocking, warped by machine static. You're too late, Stelliferous. Daybreak was only the dawn. The silence lingered for a breath too long. Then the sound of distant alarms, low and pulsing, fills the room even louder than before, like a heartbeat. The lights flickered, not because of power failure, but something worse, disturbance. Old glyph energy, raw and untamed, surged through the sealed stone. I felt it in my teeth. My glyphs stirred. Even Orabeak, usually calm under pressure, fanned his wings in warning. Who in the hell is Revenant? Zena asked. I didn't answer because to speak his name is to remember the veil and what we left behind. And there's a flashback that I gotta tell you guys about in the story to 6 years ago. So, before I became a catcher, I was a witness, and Revenant, he was one of us. Or at least he used to be. A genius with forbidden knowledge, obsessed with the echoing chain. A theory that glyphs are not summoned, but remembered by the universe. He believed if you could follow the echoes back far enough, you could awaken the first glyph. He broke into the core. You don't understand. He wants to rebuild Day One, Professor Orion said. Audio cuts abruptly. And then the whole flashback cuts back to present time, back in the vault. We've got a new trail. What's the move? Zena asked. We follow the signal, I replied. Revenant's message was more than a warning. It was a signal bounce, piggybacking off the lockdown system. We traced it, me, Zena, and Luna, through the old freight tunnels at the Sanctum engine. Each corridor hums with old glyph circuitry. Ghost of power hum just beneath the metal. Heat spike, 200 meters ahead. Not mechanical, not organic either. Glyph signature, sun-based, Luna said, checking her scanner again. It's another piece of Daybreak, or worse, one of his fragments, I said. We were now outside of the Sanctum engine, Node V. We didn't find a creature, we found a husk, a molten spear, cracked and smoking, shaped like a sun, but inert like a seed with its flame extinguished. Around it, 3 smaller glyphlings, tiny fire beetles with Daybreak's crest etched into their backs, crawled in a perfect triangle. Triplets, so Daybreak reproduced? Zena asked. No. It shed like an eclipse, peeling back its own light, Luna said, shaking her head. And in the center of them, a message etched in scorched metal. One word, Twilight. Revenant's making more, I said. Then we're going to stop him before he makes nightfall. Because if he clones nightfall as well, then we're in for trouble, or so I've been told by you, Zena said. Her words hung in the vault like a flare in darkness. Nightfall? If Daybreak was the beginning, then what came next was just another glyph. It was a reckoning. Ignazura growled softly behind Zena, sapphire stripes pulsing with reactive energy. He sensed it too, a shift in the current of the world. Not just a threat, a design. But glyphs don't evolve that fast. Something's accelerating them. This isn't nature, it's orchestration, Luna said, shaking her head. R knew we'd come for Daybreak. He wanted us to. He left the trail on purpose. I reached into the pouch and pulled on the scorched core of Daybreak's containment shard. The glow hadn't faded, it was changing. The edges shimmered with a darkness we hadn't seen before, anti-light, like the memory of a sun that never rose. Zena raised an eyebrow before saying, "What's that?" "A countdown," I said grimly. Luna said quietly, "There's another glyph waking up." I turned to them very slowly. We thought Daybreak was just a rogue anomaly, but in truth, he was a signal, and whatever nightfall is, it's already listening. So we have to be the ones to save this town of ours that we love. Before we could chase Revenant's signal through the broken circuits of the vault, the ground trembled again, this time from above. "He's not just taunting us, he's already attacking," Zena said, alert, hand on Ignazura's back. Luna's eyes went wide as she clutched Myrno's horn. "Guys, look." Through a shattered panel in the wall, we could see the sky, black, roiling, not with clouds, but with shards of broken light, above the quiet town of Luon. A glyph storm was forming. Civilians ran for cover as Revenant's drones, hollow insectoid husks wired with pulsing glyphid cores, descended like meteors. Their metallic limbs clawed through rooftops. Their speakers blared looping phrases in Revenant's corrupted voice. "Daybreak has fallen. Embrace the night. Your time is calculated," all the drones said in unison. I landed from the sky as I leaped out of my sanctuary and yelled, "Glyph catchers, deploy!" Ignazura exploded forward in a streak of sapphire flame, shimmering into one of the drones and igniting its core in a burst of blue fire. Myrno dug tunnels underneath, popping up and tossing drones aside with his rhino horn before disappearing again. Orabeak, wings glowing with spectral light, dove through the smoke and shattered a group of drones with a sonic burst. "Focus on the pulse beacons. They're anchoring the swarm," Zena shouted over the chaos. "Myrno, burrow beneath the central one. Get ready to destabilize the root node," she said, concentrating. As they fought, I reached into the storm, not just with my hands, but with my heart, my connection to the glyphs, to the veil, and I felt Revenant. watching, twisting, but something else, too. Fear. He's losing control. This isn't just about domination anymore, it's deprivation, I said, ripping out a shard from a fallen drone. Orabeak, overcharge, I called out. Orabeak's body flared with golden light, wings slicing through the sky as he unleashed a full spectral pulse. The storm paused, like the town took a break. Then, boom! The pulse beacons exploded in sequence, one after the other. The remaining drones short-circuited, falling like broken toys into the square. It's over, I said, panting. For now, Luna said. Yeah, we stopped the invasion, but we haven't stopped him, Zena said, nodding. Revenant retreated, not defeated, just calculating, watching, and we knew nightfall wasn't a time. It was a glyph, one he was saving for last.